Episode 125. As soon as the 5 words were uttered, the massive vermilion bird ring trembled violently in mid-air. With a low hum, it vanished into thin air. The newly sentient black flood dragon blinked its eyes, momentarily stunned. But in the next instant, the ring materialized with a resonant hum directly above the beast. Before the creature could react, it plummeted downward, shrinking rapidly. In the blink of an eye, the vermilion bird ring clamped down hard around the black flood dragon's body. Then, flames erupted from the ring, instantly engulfing half the beast in a raging inferno.
Do it now! I can't hold the ink dragon for long.
The concealing moon sect disciples behind her didn't understand how the black-scaled serpent before them had suddenly become the ink flood dragon their ancestors spoke of. But that didn't stop their long-prepared assault. Led by the older woman in white, the male and female disciples unleashed over a dozen red and blue light beams. The beams struck the immobilized beast without fail, followed by a thunderous series of explosions. The beams of light slammed into the demon beast, only to be violently blocked by the faint layer of black mist surrounding its body, erupting in a series of fierce, explosive cracks.
Keep up the attack. The ink flood dragon's protective barrier won't hold much longer.
The girl continued to channel the red flame technique from the vermilion bird ring, making the fire enveloping the beast burn even more fiercely. At the girl's command, the disciples of the concealing moon sect sent a relentless barrage of red and blue light pillars into the air, hammering the beast. Although they hadn't yet pierced that layer of black mist, the attacks had already driven the beast into a furious, howling frenzy. It gnashed its teeth and thrashed its still mobile limbs and tail, straining with all its might to break free from the ring. But under the girl's full power restriction, the ring held its body fast. Han Li watched from the sidelines, his heart pounding. He had never seen such a large-scale battle between cultivators before, especially with the appearance of magic treasures and powerful demonic beasts. It truly broadened his horizons. However, Han Li had made up his mind. Whether the beast defeated its foes or the Crescent Moon Sect members slew the monster, he would slip away quietly after the battle was over. This was absolutely not the time to recklessly reveal his presence. Just as Han Li was lost in thought, the black flood dragon let out a long, agonized shriek, its cry suddenly swelling to many times its former volume. Han Li was startled and immediately focused his gaze. He saw that the black mist shrouding the beast had completely dissipated. On its body, covered in black scale armor, was now a bloody hole as wide as a bowl, clearly a wound from the red and blue light beam. This only drove the beast into an even more frenzied struggle against its agony.
Looks like the Moonfall sect's people are a cut above.
Bad. Be careful. I can't hold the ink flood dragon any longer.
But right at that moment, the girl's voice rang out, causing Han Li to freeze for a second.
It seems the outcome is still anyone's guess.
The girl's words clearly gave the disciples of the Crescent Moon sect pause. Based on their experience from the previous 2 days, any top-tier beast trapped by their patriarch's magic treasure would need at least a quarter of an hour to break free from the restriction of the circular artifact. It's already broken free? Though their minds were full of questions, they dared not ignore the young woman's warning. Immediately, they went on high alert, and the red and blue beams of light from their hands lashed out with even greater ferocity. In the blink of an eye, a dozen more bloody holes were punched into the ink dragon's body, its scorched blood staining a vast swath of the swamp below. Of course, this only enraged the creature further. It opened its maw, and a piercing, unending shriek erupted, shaking the entire underground world with a deafening hum that left everyone present dizzy, disoriented, and reeling. Suddenly, a strange, tearing sound ripped through the air.
When everyone's minds cleared and they focused their gaze,
the circular magic treasure hung motionless in the air, but the ink-scaled serpent beast trapped within it had vanished into thin air. All that remained was a tattered black-scaled hide swaying loosely on the ring. It shed its skin and escaped? Not only were the disciples of the Crescent Moon sect astonished, but even the young girl was by this sight.
When I shouted for my disciples to be careful, it wasn't because I foresaw this serpent's molting. If this beast can sense the vermilion bird ring's restraint weakening, why would it waste its vital energy like this? Unless...
A terrifying possibility occurred to her, and her face went deathly pale. She immediately began looking around for the ink flood dragon, desperate to confirm her suspicion.
Where is it?
Just then, a sharp-eyed disciple from the Concealing Moon sect was the first to spot the demonic beast, clinging to the ceiling of the underground world and swimming ceaselessly. It had been completely transformed, its appearance now utterly different from before. The demon beast's once jet-black body had turned snow-white and scaleless. Its length had grown from 30 or 40 feet to 50 or 60. The site of its injury was now marked only by a faint scar so pale it was almost invisible. Most startling of all, a jet-black, inch-long horn had sprouted from the three-legged serpent's head, gleaming faintly. Its belly now sported a pair of sharp, white claws. That beast has actually transformed into a flood dragon. Its form is identical to the legendary Jiaolong. Seeing the ink flood dragon's current form, the members of the Concealing Moon sect were naturally... But before they could act, the young woman at the front, her face ashen, issued an order that left them utterly stunned.
Everyone fall back now! The ink dragon has evolved to its second stage. Its power rivals a mid-level Foundation establishment cultivator. Combined, we are no match for it. Get out of here now! I can hold it off for a little while longer.
The young woman beckoned, recalling the vermilion bird ring to hover before her as she assumed a fully defensive posture. The male and female disciples behind them hesitated. Even though the so-called ink python had shed its skin and changed its form, they had just dealt it a grievous wound. It was hard to believe that in the blink of an eye this beast's power could become so vastly different. But that single moment of hesitation was enough for some to regret for the rest of their lives. Because the white ink dragon suddenly moved, darting like lightning to a position above the Concealing Moon sect members, and then opened its maw wide, spewing forth a continuous torrent of purple liquid.
Get back! Don't try to block it!
The vermilion bird ring instantly expanded several times its size, flying forward to intercept the majority of the purple liquid.
Some of the more alert disciples, hearing this, either scrambled back into the stone passage they'd come from, or hurried forward a few steps to take shelter under the protective range of the circular magic treasure.
The remaining 5 or 6 disciples, however, confident in the power of their magic tools, not only refused to take cover, but instead released 1 or 2 shimmering objects to shield their heads. They clearly intended to take the hit head-on.
You fools.
Seeing that some disciples were ignoring her words, a flash of green light crossed the young woman's face, and she showed her annoyance. But constrained by her magic power, she could not expand the magic treasure's protective range any further. She had no choice but to leave them to their fate. Indeed, the events that followed proved the young woman's words to be true. The purple liquid that had slipped past the circular magic treasure surged menacingly toward the disciples' heads. The few magic tools, clearly extraordinary items, merely flickered with light a few times before emitting wisps of green smoke. Under the assault of the violet fluid, they were utterly dissolved. As for those Moon Crescent sect disciples, they had just enough time to let out a single cry of alarm before they too were swept away by the violet tide, vanishing from the world without a trace. All that remained where they had stood was a massive pit, several zhang deep, melted away by the violet liquid. The remaining survivors of the Crescent Moon sect paled. Having eliminated those disciples, the demonic beast, the black flood dragon, felt its violent rage subside slightly. It finally closed its mouth, ceasing its torrent of breath, and fixed the young woman with an icy stare. It seemed to understand clearly that the Grand Elder of the Crescent Moon sect was its true, formidable foe.
What are you all standing around for? Get out of here, now! This beast just transformed from a snake into a flood dragon, so its Dan liquid must be nearly spent. It won't be spewing it out so easily again. A mere second-rank little snake, and it dares to act so arrogantly in front of me. If I had my original magic power back, I'd have already captured you to guard my cave.
Having seen the gruesome fate of their comrades, the other Moon Crescent sect disciples didn't dare linger for another second. In an instant, the whole group scrambled back into the passageway and took off running for the exit.
Not long after, the roars of demonic beasts, the sharp cries of a young woman, and the thunderous sounds of battle echoed from behind them.
The disciples scrambled up the steps, hearts pounding with fear. Their patriarch had made it perfectly clear they could only hold the beast off for a short while. If they were too slow and that black flood dragon caught up again, and it unleashed that terrifying purple liquid in this narrow passage, there'd be no room to dodge at all. Wouldn't that be a pointless, stupid way to die? The young woman darted through the air, her skin glistening with sweat as she continued her relentless dance of evasion against the ink-black serpent. She wielded the vermilion bird ring with such mastery that the enraged beast could only roar in frustration, unable to land a single blow on the girl's incredibly agile form. The girl clearly wasn't going all out. She was driving the vermilion bird ring with just one hand, while her other hand clutched a red fire spirit stone, continuously drawing in spiritual chi to replenish her magic power. A moment later, she stowed the spirit stone away and produced a single, brilliant golden talisman. Without a word, while the ink dragon's attention was fully on the vermilion bird ring, she flicked her wrist, and the talisman transformed into a streak of golden light, shooting straight for the beast. The golden light, upon reaching the beast, suddenly split into countless slender golden threads, instantly binding the creature tight, rendering it completely immobile. This only provoked another furious roar from the enraged monster. Seeing this, a flicker of mockery passed through the young woman's eyes. She cast one last, reluctant glance at the golden chest floating within the white jade pavilion, then gritted her teeth and flew toward the passageway entrance.
This mid-grade, mid-tier golden thread talisman won't hold the demonic beast for long. I'd better get out of here, and fast. As for the treasure in that golden chest, I'll just have to find a way to get it another time.
The girl landed and was about to step into the stone passageway when a deafening peal of thunder suddenly erupted from within. The sound grew louder as it approached, making the girl wary and uncertain. Her raised foot hovered, unable to commit to the passage. Immediately, a dazzling azure divine light erupted within the passage, surging forward like a violent tide sweeping down the corridor. Wherever it passed, the stone passageway seemed to come alive, squeezing itself shut with frantic force. In the blink of an eye, the several Zhang-hai passage sealed shut without a single crack. Seeing this, the girl scrambled backwards several steps as if she'd seen a ghost. The girl stared at the vanished passageway, frozen in place. Her ever-present air of confidence vanished in an instant. At that moment, the golden threads binding the ink-scaled serpent in the air behind the girl began to snap, one after another. The beast was about to break free at any second.
Her heart plummeted.
It was like falling into a bottomless abyss.